Ever since Moses Masika Wetangula made a ruling regarding as per who is the leader of majority in the National Assembly, it seems his goose is cooked, and it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when he's going to be shown the door. A very warm welcome, guys, to my channel this morning, and if it is your first time on my channel, could you kindly just spare a moment of your time and hit that subscription button and put on a notification bell so that when I do subsequent videos, you'll not miss out. 2 weeks ago, the High Court ruled that Kenya Kwanza is not a majority party in the National Assembly, but it is the Azimio coalition that is a majority party in the National Assembly. 3 days later, in a motion that was discussed with the members of parliament, Wetangula ruled against the court, and he said that Kimani Ichung'wah is still the leader of majority in the National Assembly. Remember, the same scenario had replicated in the Senate, because the Senate said there was no way the court is going to rule Azimio party to be a majority party in the National Assembly and be a minority party in the Senate. So Akina Sifuna and all that team decided also to have a seat in the majority, or to be the majority leaders in the Senate. And after that, Wetangula made a ruling that rubbed so many people in the wrong way, especially so many members of parliament in the wrong way. So Wetangula said that based on the numbers, and he took his time to count those MPs that had defected to Kenya Kwanza, including Akina Sabina Chege, Akina Kanini Kega, and the likes, as those who contributed to making Kenya Kwanza as a majority party. However, so many lawyers argue that Wetangula is wrong. Remember, Wetangula is also a senior counsel and a lawyer, but so many lawyers say that he's wrong and his ruling is so biased. They say there is no way that Wetangula is going to go against the court's verdict, and they say that if Wetangula has an issue with the court verdict, he should appeal the decision and not go against it. And this comes in the wake of there has been a lot of complaints regarding Wetangula, saying that he's been biased in so many motions in parliament. I remember so many MPs have been saying that Wetangula leans towards Kenya Kwanza side of coalition, and every decision he makes a decision that favors Kenya Kwanza side of a coalition. And they say that it's going to be messy, it's going to be noisy, and sooner or rather than later, it's going to have repercussion, especially if Wetangula continues with this kind of habit. And note that President William Samoei Ruto initiated a so-called broad-based government to form unity, but Akina Junet argues that the broad-based is only felt in the executive side of the government, but it's not felt in the parliament. And Akina Junet argues that broad-based government doesn't exist in the parliament, and so many people agrees with it, because they say that parliament has been held hostage with executive video. Let's watch the video of Junet Mohammed in parliament trying to argue his case.
Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. Mr. Speaker, court rulings are very important, Mr. Speaker. You remember after the election, we disputed the result of the election. We ended up filing a court case in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court pronounced itself that we did not win the election, and the other party won the election, and we abided by it, and we respected the court ruling, Mr. Speaker. This court ruling also must be respected, Mr. Speaker, because it's not like any other court ruling, Mr. Speaker. It is a ruling of the Court of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this ruling cannot be taken jokingly, Mr. Speaker. When I went through it last evening, Mr. Speaker, these judges are raising very serious fundamental issues. They are raising issues relating to violation of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. And you remember we impeached someone here because he violated the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if this matter is not addressed, we are going to have a constitutional crisis in this country, Mr. Speaker. So for that reason, Mr. Speaker, jurisdictions all over the world and democracies all over the world that we borrowed from, even this presidential system that we are running today that is running in this country, Mr. Speaker. In the United States, there are times when the executive is from the Republican Party and the House is ruled by the Democratic Party, and life goes on. It doesn't matter that we are going to oppose everything that the government wants to do. If government brings here bills and policies that are of benefit to the country, we will support it, Mr. Speaker. And as you know now, many things have gone under the bridge. There is this animal called also broad-based, Mr. Speaker. We want to broaden, deepen, and tighten this relationship, Mr. Speaker. If I may borrow your words, we want to broaden it, deepen it, and tighten it, Mr. Speaker, so that we can have a country that is cohesive, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is no way we are going to have this animal in place, and then when we want to become the majority, people look at us with suspicious eyes. How can it be, Mr. Speaker? Members of Parliament are members of Parliament. They work under the Article 95 of the Constitution, which has given them the roles of oversight, legislation, and representation, Mr. Speaker. We are not going to do our business outside Article 95, Mr. Speaker. So, I want to allay fears here that the majority in the House must be from the ruling party. That this ruling is giving us posterity. This is doing things for posterity, Mr. Speaker. Next election, or the other election in 2032, a government might come in place where the president garners the majority votes and is elected as the president, but he will not have numbers in Parliament. His numbers might be few in Parliament, and he becomes a minority. So this is now the trend we are setting, that Parliament is independent, judiciary is independent, executive is independent. We have no problem with the executive to do their work, and we know the President of the Republic of Kenya as of today is Honorable William Samoei Ruto, Mr. Speaker. There is no doubt about that. So there should be no ambiguity and doubt that the majority leader in the National Assembly is Honorable Juliet Mohammed, the Member of Parliament for Senate, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. And I am going to serve the country diligently, Mr. Speaker, without any fear and favor, Mr. Speaker. I am a seasoned politician. I am serving my third term in Parliament, Mr. Speaker. I know how Parliament operates. I know how Parliament does its work. And I understand how bills are done in this Parliament, Mr. Speaker. I have gained enough experience. So this mindset, Mr. Speaker, this mindset that the ruling party must have majority in Parliament for them to do the executive work of the country, Mr. Speaker, that mindset must be gotten rid of, Mr. Speaker. We must emulate democracies that have matured over 200 years, Mr. Speaker. In the last election, in the last administration of Biden in America, Mr. Speaker, the Republican Party was controlling the House, Mr. Speaker, and the Democratic Party was controlling the Senate, and life was going on as usual, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, my advice to the House and to Parliament in general is that the only solution to this problem is to go to appeal. Until the appeal overturns this matter, I shall be recognized as the majority leader of the Republic of Kenya.
Members of Parliament led by Beatrice Elachi and the team came out in defense of Wetangula and saying that they are not going to allow a Mulembe nation's son to be subjected to humiliation with this censure motion. They say that they read some mischief in this censure motion, and even Beatrice Elachi threatened to walk out of the Azimio coalition or the ODM party wing, saying that he's going to stand with what he termed as mtoto wetu or mutu wetu. The syndrome that Kenyans have been saying, that so many politicians always seem to run back to their ethnic cocoon whenever the long arm of the law catches up with them. I don't know your sentiments or how this thing is going to unfold, but we are watching and see whether Wetangula is going to be shown the door or the president is going to intervene to calm down the anger of the MP regarding Mr. Wetangula that is being alleged that he's biased in the National Assembly. If it is your first time on my channel, before you sign out, could you kindly just spare a moment of your time and hit that subscription button and put on a notification bell so that when I do subsequent videos, you'll not miss out. Adios, ciao, ciao. Thank you for watching.